and then the ring around it?
At?
See, that's what I said. Katie said she thought it was about.
Yeah. Oh.
But I'd never heard it. I'd never heard it said. I'd always seen the mark, but never heard it said. And then it sounded stupid when I said it. Violence at NBC.
I heard you around or about in the lunchroom.
See, there it is. Violence at NBC. GE.com. I mean.
Well, Allison should know.
What is the internet anyway?
The internet is arguably the most critical advancement made by humanity in the last century. The internet brings us together, allows us to express ourselves, to have fun, and more importantly, to spread endless amounts of knowledge. Curious, we decided to interview UWF students about the impact the internet has had on their own lives. The findings shown here seem rather predictable, along with a few of our favorites.
How often do you use the internet every day? Or several hours?
Every day. I'd say it has to be daily. About every 20 minutes.
All the time.
Maybe 2 hours a day.
So what else do you use it for other than email?
Well, it has to be mostly, honestly, for school and just e-learning nowadays, because I'm just so busy with studying and all that. But I guess leisurely, it would be more for just playing games online.
Probably Facebook. Mastering chemistry, my math lab.
Procrastination.
Porn.
I use it for pornography and Facebook.
Despite being the forefront of information and knowledge, the internet is also the primary instrument of all major illegal activity throughout the world. It has caused billions of dollars in damage to the United States through internet piracy, the selling of leaked government information, the trade of illegal drugs, and the distribution of patented materials, just to name a few. In 2011, the United States Congress proposed 2 bills designed to save millions of jobs and billions of dollars by stopping all online piracy through directly attacking those sites that were suspected of distributing copyrighted material. The 2 bills, the Stop Online Piracy Act, or SOPA, and PIPA, the Protect IP Act, and by Protect IP, we mean the Preventing Real Online Threats to Economic Creativity and Theft of Intellectual Property Act, work together to prevent access to those sites, to take legal action on those hosting the copyrighted material, and to prevent further distribution.
These bills would later be accompanied by their European counterpart, ACTA. However, it wasn't until close examination of the bills that a potential for abuse was found. To investigate further, we searched around campus for someone with knowledge on the subject willing to be interviewed. But on our quest, we ran into a slight problem. No one seemed to know anything about SOPA or its House counterpart. After asking and emailing several professors and administrators to include almost all of Building 4, we eventually got a hold of Keith Goldschmidt, just one of 4 individuals that agreed to speak with us with any knowledge on the subject. So first, if you could tell me your name, please.
My name is Keith Goldschmidt.
Okay. And your position at UWF?
I'm a lecturer in the Communication Arts Department.
Okay. All right. And what do you know so far about the 3 bills? How could you summarize those?
One is it is an attempt to essentially to preserve the intellectual property and to stop such things as plagiarism and any type of copyright infringement and piracy and those type of things that are out there. The difficulty that they're having with the PIPA bill and the SOPA bill and the ACTA bill is how do you balance free expression and the rights of people to express themselves freely and to use information against the copyright protections that are inherent in intellectual property that's out there. So while I think that it's a worthy effort to go out there and try to essentially protect intellectual property, because why else would people have incentive to create something, to make music, to make movies, if they can't make money off of it? On the other hand, the bills have all gone, in most people's minds, a little bit too far in terms of looking at such things as censorship and barring access on the internet to certain sites, and then to hold people and sites like Facebook or individuals responsible for essentially housing or even just linking through to copyrighted material. So it's an incredibly complicated, all 3 of them are incredibly complicated.
How would you define intellectual property?
Intellectual property is any creative product that someone has just done that, just created something that's out there. Could be a thought, could be an idea, could have a physical manifestation to itself, like a film or a book, a magazine article, anything along those lines. But it could also just be an idea. And intellectual property was something that even the founders of this country felt was absolutely essential that it be protected. And they created copyright law early. One of the second laws that was passed within the United States had to do with copyright that was out here, because they believed that this creative process was essential for a country to advance itself. And the only way that they would do it is people could make money off of it. If they couldn't make money off of it, they're going to stymie the creative process.
So it turns out SOPA has the capability of doing much more than just what it says. By holding both websites and individuals responsible, it has the capability to shut down anything the entertainment industry deems as copyright infringement. This not only includes music, but also movie clips and even unsighted or private pictures.
My name is Nevin Schaefer. My position is that I am the sole proprietor of a intellectual property law firm here in Gulf Breeze.
Do you think that any of the four bills would infringe on constitutional rights that individuals would have?
People have constitutional, in the United States at least, they have constitutional right to First Amendment free expression, let's say. So these four bills, to get back to your question, are, as I read them, and I'm no expert on them, and you know, you all, by your paper, has encouraged me to kind of get up to speed on them a little bit. These four bills are designed to try to help balance the stuff. So I think the outcry on the SOPA and PIPA acts, as my limited understanding of that, was because people felt like, wait a minute, the government is trying to pass an act and no one really knew about it. I didn't know very much about it. Y'all know more than any two people in all of Florida probably, you know. But was too heavy-handed. It gave too much rights to the copyright owner. It allowed the copyright owner to go in and close down websites and get injunctions, and I don't know how they were going to get money, but you know, to stop the people, and there was no checks and balance there. Those acts were designed to help protect the copyright owner, but I understand that the protest against them was they went too far. They gave too much power to the government.
And why do you think that this hasn't been discussed in the media that much?
Well, it's kind of esoteric. I mean, you had a problem finding anybody who knew anything about it.
What are the three bills trying to stop online piracy on the internet? What are the three bills trying to stop online piracy on the internet?
I don't know.
One is, I think our media has become relatively lazy, and this is a complicated subject matter that doesn't capture a lot of imagination that's out there. There's not a lot of sexy quality to it, so how are they going to capture this and say, hey, look what's happening that's out there? And until recently, there haven't been a lot of people that have risen and spoken very loudly in opposition to it. And since the news media works on conflict, and since there wasn't a conflict, and we didn't hear about it until suddenly Wikipedia and all these sites went dark, you know, that was the first time that I think the American public even had a glimpse off of that.
The bills are strict, but they'll still be effective at stopping online illegal activity, right?
Probably not. You know, again, it's kind of like arms race. You know, some guy comes up with a slingshot, another guy comes up with a shield, another guy comes up with a spear, another guy comes up with a gun, and then, you know, so for every advancement in offense, there's a counter development of defense, and so I don't say you shouldn't try. I mean, we have laws for a reason. You can't drive drunk. You can't speed in certain areas, so I don't think it would ever stop it, because there are bad people in the world, and if you're willing to break the law, who cares what stupid act they pass?
Ladies first.
Hi, I'm Lacey Brown, and I am a graduate assistant for the communication department. Well, really for the fine performing and communication arts department.
Yep. And I am Drew Stewart. I'm also a graduate assistant, and I work very closely with Lacey with the speech and debate team.
How effective do you think this will be in stopping online piracy?
I don't think it'll be effective at all. The internet is not focused on just the United States. The entire world uses the internet, and so this will have to be a global law, which probably won't pass. And it's almost impossible
Not in China.
It's an entity that can't be contained. You can't put the internet in a box, and you can't control it. I don't think that our congressmen or our legislative system is prepared or even knows enough about the internet to attempt to contain it.
Yeah, I don't know. I really question what they consider piracy. You know, is it just taking somebody's intellectual property and creating a meme out of it, or is it using it for profit in a certain way? Because a lot of people that take or pirate intellectual property do nothing with it. They simply just put a post on YouTube or post something on their blog, you know. So what really is piracy?
And in the same breath, you can forget about sites like Tumblr, where people just reblog images. That's going to be shut down. Websites like, what is it, Pinterest?
Yeah. Oh my god.
That'll be shut down because those are just recycled images from Google or from other sites that all have copyright that no one's really crediting anybody. But all those websites will be shut down because they belong to someone. I think that it's a slippery slope when the government starts working hand in hand with corporations to save money and things like that. Because saving intellectual property, not only, it goes beyond just music and film and TV shows. As a graduate assistant, it makes me nervous for things like Google and Wikipedia, because although we don't cite Wikipedia sources, we use them as quick references. And I especially use Google Scholar to find particular articles that our library might not have. So when it comes to intellectual property, that is included. And so I won't be able to have those resources as a graduate student.
And I also think that those bills, I don't know, I guess the major argument for those bills is that they're extremely harmful in a number of ways, but I think the most harmful way is that they would be cracking down on all use of intellectual property. And because it's so rampant, it's like, how are you really going to gather up all the intellectual property and tell everybody to stop all at once? It seems like a pretty impossible task, and I don't know what would get accomplished. So would the bills have, like, just put up a roadblock and say, okay, no more, and just let everything that's out kind of go out? Or would they go back and try to collect everything? I don't know. It seems like the bills are shooting at one giant moving target, and it's moving a lot faster than anybody can aim at.
Chester, and in fact all across the country, won't have Wikipedia as an online reference source tomorrow.
SOPA, the laws that could censor a website because somebody else posted copyright material on it.
Begin to show.